Yay Media Group.
One thing that makes me sad is there's a family member.
This is going to be a very controversial episode.
Hey guys, episode 210. Sorry the way I look. If you listen to our last episode, Leighton, I talked about him getting the vomiting. Well, I got it, which I'm not surprised. It's like our neighbor's daughter has the vomiting. It's just all these different viruses going on. And it almost broke me. I almost started bawling, crying the other night because it just was coming out both ends. And that's the worst kind to have. And I was so tired of just doing that I almost woke you up and was just like about to cry and be like, take me to urgent care. Because I felt so dehydrated. Because I couldn't keep anything down. And then you told me to suck on some ice cubes. So I was like sucking on ice cubes. And yeah, the only positive is I did get on the scale today and I dropped 6 pounds.
Because you're dehydrated.
Yeah, but I've been, yesterday I had bone broth. You made me, and then just stuff like that, like food right now. I'm still kind of like, but I am a little bit better today. I'm just so weak. This morning I woke up and I felt super dizzy. But that's probably because I was dehydrated, but just drinking a ton of electrolytes and sleeping.
Wow. Yeah. I hope I don't get it next. It seems like it's going around. The school's half empty. And I don't know. It just seems like it's going
just
around.
That time
it's
of year.
That time of year.
I knew it because Christmas break, the kids have off, and then they come back to school, and then it's like full germ
fest.
I know.
And then everyone, even if the parents are like, he's got sniffles or she's got sniffles, they're like, just get them out of here. Because they've been home for 2 weeks. So then just all the germs and stuff. But it's that time of year. It happens every year. But I hope I don't get it because you were down and out. We just got over Leighton. He didn't even go to school last week.
Yeah, he was out all week. And then I'm on my third day. I called you Friday. You were at work. And I was like, can you get Lawson? If I'm like not picking up my kids, I really don't feel good. And luckily you didn't have any shows that you had to do. And you're like, oh yeah, I can grab Lawson. I was like, oh my gosh, thank God. Because I was going to bring every day at pickup. We would, when Leighton was sick and we had to go get Lawson, I brought a trash bag in the car. I was like, Leighton, if you got to throw up, just puke in here and we'll get rid of it. And then I was going to bring myself a trash bag if you couldn't pick up Lawson because I couldn't stop throwing up.
Okay. Well, happy Monday, everybody.
Yeah.
That's a breakdown of Jordan's sickness. Let's dive into that a little bit because what is going on with you throwing up in trash bags?
I said it was coming out both ends.
So throw up in a toilet. You throw up in a bag.
So where do you want me to poop? It's coming out both ends. I have to sit on the toilet while I'm throwing up.
Okay, if that's the case, that's fine. But it wasn't. I went in there and you were like, I can't talk. I'm going to throw up. And you grabbed the garbage can next to the bed.
Because I couldn't make it to the...
It's 2 feet away.
I couldn't make it to the toilet. And Leighton one night, I had to clean up his vomit. And I almost vomited from cleaning up his vomit. And I have a trash liner in there.
I get it. But I don't understand why you want to save it in the room and then
I put it out
and then you don't even throw it in the garbage can.
Yeah.
Which is another 2 feet from the door where you leave it. You leave it right outside.
Because I had chills and I was aching and I wasn't feeling good. And I brought it down. I brought the bags down and I set it in the garage outside by there. And then the next day I got up and I put it in the trash can.
There's like 5 throw up bags in the garage.
Oh, right now? Did I not get those?
It's disgusting.
I've been cleaning up vomit and
I just don't understand why you don't throw up in the toilet. Why do you want to save it?
Well, if I wasn't shitting my pants, I would be throwing up in the toilet.
Okay. I'm just saying. And then throw it in the garbage can. It's
midnight. I was throwing up all night. I'm not going to, and I had no energy. I'm not going to keep going up and down this step.
It's four more steps. Feel like a sense of accomplishment.
No, I would get up and my heart was racing. I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to lay back down again because then I felt like super weak. When Jeff gets this and you start vomiting, let's see you start answering questions.
But at least I like to be left alone when I'm sick.
You
want to chat it up.
Well, I get like anxiety and I start freaking myself out. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, do I need to go to the, not emergency, but urgent care? Am I super dehydrated? And then I get in my head and I freak myself out.
Okay, let's get into that now. Because Leighton had the exact same thing, vomiting in the poops. And then you got it, but then you get paranoid that you're dying of something.
Yeah.
You think that's just a coincidence that you were throwing up and had the poops?
I can't help it. I have an anxiety problem. And when and my heart is racing and I'm aching, I can't help it. I'm crazy.
No, I get I'm a baby when I'm sick too. Did I tell the story of your blue mouth last week? Did we talk about that?
We're not going to talk about that.
Yeah, we are going to talk about that because it's hilarious. I was even telling our neighbor about it last night. I was over there with the kids watching football and I was telling her about it. She's like, I didn't hear that other part. And she's like, Jordan didn't text me that.
Oh, no, because I text her. Because I was like, my tongue is blue.
All right, so let me tell this story real fast. So, yeah, we did. Did we tell this story last week?
Maybe we did. I don't know.
Because I'm like, we got a little dust up. I thought we told that on the last one.
Maybe we did.
I can't remember.
I don't know. I don't even know what day it is.
All right. Well, I'll tell it fast if I told it already last week. I don't know if I told it. Anyways, Jordan comes out. We got in like a little argument. So she comes downstairs.
This was the same thing because on the last one, people are going to think we argue all the time.
No. This was the same one.
This is the same day. So don't think we argue all the time.
The blue tongue?
Maybe we didn't.
Anyways, Jordan's fighting. We're in an argument. So I'm like, listen, let's sit down. We'll talk it out. So we talked it out. Her mouth was blue. I didn't think anything of it. I thought she had a popsicle or something. We had nothing to do with the conversation or anything. I just didn't say anything. So we kind of mend fences. Jordan comes back down and she goes, did you see my mouth? It's all blue. And I go, yeah, I did notice that. And she's like, I think I just Googled it. First of all, never, ever Google yourself, your symptoms of what you have. It never ends up good. And it's 90% the wrong thing anyway. So anyways, Jordan Googles blue tongue, and then I Google blue tongue, and there is pictures of people with blue tongue that look like hers, but their fingertips were all blue, and I don't know. It's like
they said that was like severe.
Yeah, that's very severe that you need to go to the doctor, and it's something in your blood. It's like a blood disease or something. So whatever it is, I don't know. Google blue tongue if you want, or actually don't. So Jordan's all getting freaked out. Then she's freaking me out because she's freaking out. And I'm like, listen, your fingertips would be blue if something was really going on. So she texts her doctor. She texts all of our neighbors. Some of our neighbors are doctors. Long story short, in case I told
vitamins. I thought it was like something with my vitamins. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I've been really stressed out because there's some stuff going on back in North Carolina that I was really stressed about. And like, I've just had a temper about it and just like loose cannon. That's
right. So Jordan has a lot on her plate. And we are bickering. So yeah. So
I was like, oh, it said if you have a lot of caffeine, which I have a lot of caffeine, and stressed can bring out this thing. And so I was like, oh my gosh, that's exactly what it is. And so I was freaking out.
Yeah. So she freaked out. She's calling her doctor. Doctor's like, I don't know. I've never seen that. Try brushing your teeth. And so she did, and it went away a little bit. She still had a little bit left. And I'm like, well, listen, if that was internal, it wouldn't come off if you brush your teeth. Like, doesn't that make you feel better? She's like, no, I think I have that disease. So I'm like, all right, this is crazy. I'm like, out of nowhere, you just have like a blue tongue and this blood disease. So I go upstairs and I made the kids like breakfast. I don't know what day this was. Anyways, they were eating Lucky Charms. And I go, and I'm like cleaning up, and they're like, Dad, can we have more Lucky Charms? And I was like, come here for a second. I'm like, why is your mouth all blue? And they're like, we just ate Lucky Charms. And I go to Lawson, and I'm like, hey, come here. Is your mouth blue? His mouth was all blue. So I'm like, what were you guys eating? Lucky Charms? They're like, yeah, from the marshmallows. And so I go to Jordan. I'm like, did you eat anything today? She goes, 100% no.
Yeah.
I only had a coffee. I'm like, did you make them breakfast? And she's like, yeah, I made them breakfast. I'm like, the Lucky Charms? And she's like, yeah. I go, you didn't eat one. She goes, 100% I didn't. I go, well, that's weird because you and the kids both have all blue mouths. I'm like, do you think everyone has this blood disease? Or do you think maybe you ate a Lucky Charms marshmallow by accident and everybody has blue tongues? Maybe that's it?
Yeah, I don't remember eating the Lucky Charm. Maybe I did, but I don't remember doing that because I'm doing no carbs and sugar. but maybe one fell and I just grabbed it and ate it, but I don't remember. But whatever. It was like blue, like this background. So
and all the kids had the exact same mouth as Jordan. So it was from that blue Lucky
Jeff
Charms.
was like, I'm no doctor, but 3 people with blue tongues. So anyways, and then I text like a couple friends who are like nurse practitioners and ask them, and everybody's like, oh, it could be vitamins or whatever. So,
or it could be Lucky Charms.
Lucky Charms.
That are poisoning you, because no food should dye your mouth that blue anyway. So it's probably something in the food, which I don't know if you want to go down this road, but I want to talk about this next. Okay. We'll take a break. All right, so the hustle and bustle of the holidays, it's over, and it's time to get back to real life. And you heard us talk about Hungry Root before, because in 2026, it's all about making life simple for us.
I love Hungry Root because it simplifies our life. Leighton has basketball now, kids in school, homework, studying, all of that. Hungry Root keeps us on track with all of our healthy eating and easy to make meals.
Yeah. Jordan and I have tried different meal kits in the past, but what I love about Hungry Root the most is the variety that they have to offer. There's something for everybody. I'm more on the carnivore diet. This time of year, I try all different diets throughout the year, and Hungry Root has something for everybody's dietary needs.
Hungry Root helps you stick with your New Year's resolutions. For me, it's dieting. Right now, doing no carbs, no sugar, but it's helping me get to my goals.
We want to simplify things in 2026, and all the running around with the kids in school and sports and work, it's difficult to have a meal together and take the time to prep it and cook it yourself. Hungry Root has it delivered right to your door. They make it easy. You put it in your cart, you hit send, and the next thing you know, it shows up at your doorstep.
Hungry Root also holds all of its food to high standards, screening out over 200 additives. You're going to love Hungry Root as much as we do. For a limited time, get 40% off your first box, plus get a free item in every box for life. Go to hungryroot.com/togetherness. Use code Togethermess. That's hungryroot.com/togetherness. Code Togethermess.
To get 40% off your first box plus a free item of your choice for life. That's hungryroot.com/togetherness. All right, welcome back. I didn't know if I want to go down this road or Jordan's still not feeling that good, and I'm kind of picking on you, so I apologize. I'll dial it back a little bit. It was just been crazy. It's been crazy this last couple of days. With Leighton sick, he missed school, then you're out, and me juggling everything. Listen, a stay-at-home mom needs a pat on the back. So do single moms and single parents, because it's no easy task.
I always think about that, single moms.
Yeah,
like if you work and your kid's sick and then you can't go to work, and then
you don't have like family or extra help.
Yeah.
And daycare is super expensive. Thank God we don't have to deal with that.
I know my mom she called me. She was like, oh my gosh, if I live close, she goes, I would take Lawson. So then you could just worry about Leighton. But it is because it just shows like your roles. Like Jeff has his roles that he does. I have my roles. And when one of us are down and out, it's like, I can like feel it. Like I kept trying to get up. You got mad because I was touching things, but I would like made the bed for you guys because I felt bad that you were like doing everything. And then I took some of the clothes out of the dryer and laid them on the ground. So when I do feel better, I can fold those, or like little things trying to help you. But it was nice that they hung out with the neighborhood kids. So yeah, that helped. But it's a lot with when one person, you're working, but then you got to pick them up because I'm throwing up or, and then you're down and out.
Yeah. So it's a lot for like a single parent. I don't know how they do it. And especially with no help, and it's a lot. It's a lot. But going back to like the food thing, like with the Lucky Charms and things like that, the food dye in there, like, I think we need to get rid of that. Like as a country, I don't know if Lucky Charms are.
Every single food that I see people that are like holistic and talking about foods, every single food that they post that they say causes cancer or causes something is everything that I ate as a kid.
Me too.
Oreos.
Me too.
Lucky Charms.
But I think sugar is really bad for you.
I try to, well, that's why I'm like doing no sugar, but I try to limit that. Or you're really good about making healthy meals, or I've been trying to do more crock pot meals because the boys like that.
Well, I know, listen, RFK, whatever you think about politics, RFK like flipped the food pyramid on its head. You know what I mean? It turned it upside down. And I kind of agree with it. But because it came from RFK, I've talked about this in the past, people just don't agree with it because he's politically not on their side. But that doesn't mean we should be putting poison in our body to spite your cultural beliefs or your political beliefs. That's ridiculous.
Well, politics aside, I'm not getting into politics, but with what he said with the food pyramid, I do agree with. I think there are some foods like I used to when the boys were little. Remember the Kool-Aid drops that you could get? The boys loved it. And then my dad he played tennis with a doctor, and a doctor was telling my dad, red dye can affect your kids' moods and how they act. And my dad goes, maybe you should cut back on that red dye. He was telling me all this information. So then I was like, okay, maybe that's not good, because the boys were like crazy and hyper. And then I completely just cut out that red dye.
Yeah, we did. That was a couple of years ago before
that was
all this.
A long time ago.
Yeah, before all this
like
talk
2020,
came around.
I think.
Because the kids were getting sick.
All the time.
And we're like, what is this coming from? And, again, politically, if you don't like what we're saying, just turn it off. Because I'm so sick of trying to make everybody happy when you try to have conversations. And they're like, well, some people can't afford food and this and that. That's all true. It's all true. I'm talking about the majority of people. I'm talking about myself, to be honest with you. I don't think it's good. My mother just got cancer and died within 8 months. She never drank. She had a glass of wine. She ate pretty much healthy. And all of a sudden she gets cancer, and in 1 year she's gone. So you stick to your political beliefs and do whatever you want to do. I'm talking about not having the same thing happen to us and our children. And I think what RFK, despite him putting bears in his trunk and he might be crazy, is a good idea, is what he's doing with the food pyramid. It might not be 100% right, but I agree with it. And it has nothing to do with politics. And I'm so sick of like trying to make everybody happy and be like, well, this and that and this. No, I don't care. I don't care anymore. I don't think there should be dye in our food. I think if food in our country is legal and it's illegal to have that sort of food in other countries, we need to look into that a little bit more.
A friend of mine is hippie. And she always told me, this was years ago before all this stuff. She used to always say, even Whole Foods. She was like, Whole Foods isn't even like that good for you. I was like, really? She was like, you got to go places like Sprouts, or you have to do a farmer's market. But if you go to McDonald's, it's like like $6, $5 for a Happy Meal. But then you try to eat healthy and it's crazy expensive.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah.
That's for sure a problem. But I'm just talking about the ingredients that we're using.
Ingredients.
But yes, that is a problem. Everyone could throw. I just don't.
Well,
I'm so sick of like just everyone taking sides about things. I just want to stick to the issue. And I don't care if a Republican or a Democrat or Elon Musk or a guy who goes to the moon is fighting for this. And he's like, listen, we need to get this crap out of our kids' food. We need to eat less sugar. We need to, like, sodas with sugar shouldn't even be on the market. It's like ridiculous. But those are all things that kids love. I had when I was a kid, but I don't even know if like a Coca-Cola in the 80s and 90s is the same as a Coca-Cola today.
Well, I've seen, that's funny you said that. They showed French fries, McDonald's French fries, and it had maybe like 5 ingredients for their fries. And then now it's just this paragraph of just everything. It's the same thing with like vaccines.
Yeah.
Like when you were younger, what you needed for a vaccine. And I never even thought about that. I mean, like when we had Lawson, because he was our first, that's why I'm saying Lawson. I just was like, okay, whatever we need to do. I mean, they were like, right when he came out, they gave him a shot.
Yeah, and then he had to go back and get 4. Remember that time he had to get 1 in each leg, 1 in each arm?
Yeah, and then at their pediatrician's office, I've never really agreed with this. There was one time, I think it was Leighton, and I hate it. They make me set him on my lap, and I have to hold him, and they bring 2 nurses in, and they gave him like 5 shots at one time. they just do it like super fast, the girls, and then he's crying, and I'm like, does he really need that all at one time? Or Lawson, I believe his next shots are due when he's 12. I could be wrong. It's like 11 or 12, and I've almost even thought about it. Like, what shots is he getting?
Well, what shots did I get when I was a kid? And then what shots did my parents get when they were a kid? And how has that evolved? And I get that we can't have polio, right? I understand measles. We can't have things like that. But there's other things in there like tetanus, I think it is. And it's like, there's some things in there that are a little crazy. And we're not anti-vaxxers. We're all vax and our kids are vax and things like that. But it does raise some questions for me. It does. I'm like, what is happening that so many people are getting cancer now? It wasn't like that before. All these allergies, all these, a peanut allergy is, that's the simplest of them all. That wasn't even a thing when I was a kid. Now everybody has a peanut allergy and you can't even eat peanuts on planes. It's like, where did that come from? Why don't we stop fighting about politics and figure out what the problem is? Mm-hmm. Look back in the day, the marketing was the doctors would prescribe cigarettes back in the day. Like, you need to relax. You should probably have a cigarette.
They did.
That was like way back in the day. So what do you think, we know everything now as doctors in the medical industry? Or do you think pharmaceutical people have such a strong grip on our government that they're pushing things that they know aren't good? And we know that from that painkillers. That family knew that was bad for people.
Oxycodone?
Yeah, they knew that it was addictive. They knew that giving that would get them addicted and they'd make more money. They're not even in jail. That family. I know the name. I can't think of it right now.
I know, but there's the documentary.
Look up the documentary Painkillers. The pharmaceutical industry, and I don't mean to sound like a flat earth guy or anything, but there are things now that really bother me. And it's like, why are we fighting with each other when we should be looking into this problem? And that's kind of what the food pyramid sparked this whole conversation. It's like, I do agree with turning the food pyramid on its head a little bit. I do believe in proteins from organic animals and animals that aren't just stuffed with seed and they grow in a week and all of a sudden they're 20-pound chickens.
I think
it's like, that's in putting all this steroids and antibiotics and shit.
I think after we had kids and just how the world is, I think this is something that we've been thinking about more and more because we have kids. Because before
the Sackler family,
you and I never talked about vaccines or
I never talked about that shit. But the more, it started with my mom, it's like, you live a healthy lifestyle, which she did. She never got drunk. I never saw my mom drunk one time in her life. She'd have a glass of wine and be like, oh, that's enough for me.
I remember her, because I would ask her questions and her telling me, she goes, I did all my exams that the doctors told me to do, your breast exam, your pap, everything. She goes, not one time did a doctor ever tell me to go check your bile duct. And I
get, listen, I know I sound a little angry because I still am and I'll never be over it. But it's like, when I have questions about certain things and why we do certain things, it becomes a political agenda and I'm called like an anti-vaxxer and Hitler and all this stuff. And it's like, I just want to figure out what the fuck happened to my mom. It's nothing to do with politics, but society throws you in these categories and I'm tired of it. I'm so tired. I want my kids to be healthy. I want to know what I should eat that's causing me cancer and not what some industry is pushing because they have big money and they're telling government to do it. Because RFK is going against that, I'm more for that. I don't trust the government with anything. I don't trust pharmaceuticals with injecting me with things that I don't know about. How long has cancer been around? For a long time. But they found a cure to a disease that we have known nothing about. And all of a sudden the whole world had to get a vaccination for it. Why don't we have a cure for cancer? Why is it getting worse? I just have a lot of questions. And
because they make a lot of money off of people being sick.
Yeah, of course. Billionaires were made through COVID. But all of a sudden COVID came out and then a couple months later we had a cure for it. Everyone take this vaccine.
Well, I feel like ever since COVID, like I got the first COVID, I did it one time and then I didn't do it anymore. I did the COVID shot and then I still had COVID so bad and I got the vaccine, but I felt like we were almost they're telling us we were going to die if we didn't take it. So then I'm like, I got little
and
kids.
We did.
I have to take it.
No, and we all followed the rules. And I'm not saying I didn't. I followed
won't
the
lie.
rules.
I'll say at first, I was like, there's no way I'm getting this. I don't even do flu shot. I'm not even getting this vaccine. And then we were there and you were like, you should get this done. And I was like, I don't know. And then last minute I changed my mind because Leighton and Lawson were 2 and 4. And then I remember having like anxiety. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I got this shot. But someone that I know, that I love did not get the vaccine at all and never was sick. Never got it.
Let's take a break real fast and we'll come back. All right. If you've been listening to our podcast, you know that we do dry January every single year. And nowadays is helping us get through that dry January. It's a THC drink that helps you be social in those situations where everybody else is drinking.
Jeff just had his during the Bears game.
That's right. I did.
And I love it because it's no calories, no regrets, and you don't feel bad the next day. No hangovers.
You're not giving up fun to chase your goals. You're just choosing a better way to do both.
So you can work hard, play smart, and you've earned it.
I love the taste. I love the flavor. I love the way it makes me feel. And like Jordan said, no regrets in the morning, no hangover. You get after chasing those dreams. So if you feel awkward in those social situations when you're not drinking, try Nowadays. We use it and you should too.
Visit trynowadays.com/togetherness to get 20% off your order. That's trynowadays.com/togetherness or use code Togethermess at checkout.
Drink responsibly. You must be 21 years or older. All right, welcome back. Yeah, so I still don't know the answer, and that's why I don't trust the government, because even if they were wrong in saying, listen, because they did lie. I don't care what you think at home. They said it was going to stop transmission and you weren't going to get it. That's what they told us. And that wasn't the case.
And you got boosted.
I got 2 shots.
Because the show you worked on was very about like
and
COVID.
we had someone working there with a daughter who was immunocompromised. Yeah. And that's a reason to get the shot. You know, like I didn't want to infect anybody. I didn't want to pass it on, but I did get 2 shots and I still got COVID and I still passed it on to somebody. But so all that was a lie. Now, did it help how bad the COVID was? I don't know. The only way you know is if I have a twin that didn't take the vaccine and we both got sick at the same time, and then you measure both of us. That's the only way you know.
Right.
So I don't know. And there's too much money involved, and there's so many other diseases and sicknesses out there that came on so fast, and the government did what they had to do. But it's like, you came out with a cure for that. Where's the cure for all these other things? Why are we getting more sicknesses and more cancers? And I just have a lot of questions. And again, I'm angry because of my mom, but it's like, you're not allowed to ask these questions anymore. And I just want to be healthy. It all stems from like, you know, having vomiting in the poops has nothing to do with the morbid, or whatever, you know what I mean? The cancers that kill you and things like that. But it's just, you're not allowed to ask questions. You're not allowed to say, yeah, I do think this is good for you, or this works for me. You know, like Joe Rogan took some other thing, and I don't even know what he took, but what's the drug I'm thinking of?
Ivermectin.
It became this horse dewormer, and now people are using it for a lot of other things. And I know a lot of people, by the way, who tried ivermectin and never said one thing because they didn't want to be shunned from society. But now it's coming out and they're like, listen, man, I took ivermectin and I was good. And ivermectin cost nothing. But when you get the vaccine from a big pharmacy, those people are making billions of dollars.
Well, one thing that makes me sad is there's a family member.
This is going to be a very controversial episode.
I know.
But I'm sick of it.
I don't have the energy to
I'm not fighting. I'm just kind of venting because I'm still upset about everything, you know?
Of course. A family member of mine who needs insulin and is very, very bad diabetic. And my mom was telling me this, her medication is insane what she has to pay for her medicine. That's something she has to have. Like, why is it not affordable? Someone else I know with cancer, why is these pills they gave her for cancer, why are they like $11,000? And then that's how much it would be without insurance. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's big pharma wanting to make money.
Why is it when I went to the emergency room, we had good insurance? No, did we have? No. Yeah, we had our insurance, $2,700 for an hour being in the emergency room.
And they took your pulse.
Yeah, they did nothing.
And not saying doctors and nurses aren't fantastic and great and that we don't need them. And I love them. I think they're great. I just think when government meets certain industries, I don't know, it ruins it. I just have questions. Of course we need doctors. Of course we need medicine. Of course we need vaccinations. But to what extent? When can I start asking questions without being put in this corner? Well, and I don't think it's like that so much anymore. I think a lot of people are investigating and talking about it more openly. You know, when I was on Daily Blast Live, to even say that,
oh my God,
I'd be pulled aside and be like, dude, you can't talk like that. I don't know. I think what we're eating, even if meat, you know, I'm kind of more on a carnivore diet, but I do try to eat fruits and vegetables along with that. But then it's like the pesticides that they put on our vegetables. You know, like the strawberries are big as an apple now. It's like, how did you get that big?
Well,
you're putting shit in there.
Older people back then just lived off their garden.
Yeah, I know. And I just don't, maybe I'm confused. I'm certainly angry a little bit, but it's like, what is going in our food? And I understand there's millions, 350 million people or whatever we're at just in the United States that you have to feed on a daily basis, and to find healthy alternatives for somebody who has low income. That's impossible. That's impossible, you know? So I get the argument on that side, but it's like, what do I eat? What can I eat? If I eat organic, even for us, that's expensive. Going to Whole Foods and Sprouts and things like that. But then we get cereal because your kids are kids. And it's like, are we poisoning them? Because now we're allowing this shit in our food. Like the whole thing with Fruit Loops that they're not allowed in other countries, but we could still eat that. Like probably shouldn't be eating that shit. You know what I mean? Even if our kids like it. Halloween, let's just shove billions of pounds of sugar down people's throats.
Away.
It's like, I think sugar's terrible for you. There's just a lot of things. I have a lot of questions about a lot of things. And I've cut that out of my diet, you know, for the most part. Over the holidays, I go crazy. And even with just myself, I'm not a doctor. I'm not anybody. When I start eating breads and sugars, I get sick.
I think it's because you eat so healthy and so clean all the time. And that when you do have a lot of sugar, like if we're on vacation or something, then you get sick.
But over the holidays, I eat pasta, bread.
I think your body's just not used to it.
And then all of a sudden I get a cold and I get sick.
I used to drink sweet tea back in North Carolina. Every day I had sweet tea. Never affected me whatsoever. We moved to California and there was no sweet tea. Everybody drank unsweet tea. And then I remember I went back home after living there in California and I couldn't drink sweet tea anymore because it hurt my stomach so bad because I wasn't used to it. But before that, sweet tea was like my drink that I got every time. And the sweeter, the better.
And I think, is it been proven that sugar is like addictive? You know, like a nicotine, like a cig. I don't know if it's been.
When I didn't drink alcohol for that whole year, I craved sugar.
So that's the sugar from the alcohol.
Yeah.
So Al, and my old buddy Al who on DBL, I hope he doesn't mind me saying this because he said it a million times, but he quit drinking and he's like, man, I got a drinking problem. I need to stop. And he did. He stopped cold turkey. What he didn't stop was he would hide like Swedish fish. Even my kids see Swedish fish and are like, oh, this is what Al loves. He'd eat those between commercial breaks and just pound like Swedish fish. And he's like, everybody's got to have a vice. You know, so the sugar from the alcohol, if you're drinking a lot of alcohol and then come off of it, your body needs to balance that or come down gradually.
Wanting craving sugar a lot, like wanting like a chocolate chip cookie or wanting, I don't know, a soda or just ice cream. Well, no, I don't get ice cream ever. And then we'd be out and I'm like, oh, I just want something sweet.
Yeah, I don't know if we're ever going to get the answers, or why don't they talk about more like that on the news? You know what I mean? It said all we do is fight about politics and political issues or something went down. It's like, could we just try to agree on something?
I know.
Can't everyone agree that we don't want shit in our food? Can't everyone agree that they want a healthier lifestyle for their children? Can we agree that where did this peanut allergy come from? Why do we have so much cancer? Can we agree on that? We have to make it a blue and red thing and disagree. It's like, I'm done with that. I'm so tired of it. And people questioning you when you ask questions. No, I'm not. I don't like it.
Right. I agree.
I don't know how all this stemmed from you having the poops, but it did.
I got all the toxins out.
Well, maybe just because I'm like eating health this new year and I'm working out every day and I'm like, why do I put that shit in my body? But I don't know. And then just again,
and we do, like if we go out to eat to dinner, we have French fries. It's like you can't get around.
No, and I don't mind. I think again, I think the
everything
answer for
in
that
moderation.
in moderation for sure. But it's like when we're poisoning, like when you eat something that turns your whole face blue, you probably shouldn't be eating that.
Well, I was talking to somebody the other day and they were like, I need a new doctor to go to. And I prefer going to nurse practitioners or physician assistants, PAs, because I feel like I get so much more out of the appointment than with a doctor. I feel like doctors rush you off and it's like, oh yeah, I went to school for that. I know more than you. And I feel like nurse practitioners and PAs are just so awesome. Like I have never had one that I don't like. Like the person I see, my main person is a nurse practitioner. The girl that checks my hoo-ha, nurse practitioner. And they're all just like cool and just
because they kind of lean towards the holistic approach, right? Or no, is that wrong?
Not all. The one helping me with my hormones leans more holistic, right. And she's a nurse practitioner.
But that's funny. If you go to 5 doctors, you're kind of going to get 5 different opinions.
Yeah, it just depends. Not all doctors are like that. Like there's this one I see, she's an amazing doctor, but she's cool. She's not arrogant. She doesn't have this attitude and she's so smart and I like her a lot. But the people who have really helped me are nurse practitioners. They just sit and they have the time and they talk to you and they make you feel comfortable. They don't make you feel crazy. They're just as knowledgeable as a doctor. You just don't have a doctor to agree. Anyways, this person I told to go to a nurse practitioner, she called me and was like, oh my God, the girl I saw was amazing. I thought like you didn't go to nurse practitioners. I was like, yes, they're just as good as doctors.
Yeah, I guess it's a preference.
And it's really
each their own.
It's really hard to find a doctor. There's so many people out there like that you connect with. You have to find somebody that like you vibe with. If you don't vibe, I've been to one when we were Lawson. When I was in Leighton, when I was trying to find a gyno, when I was pregnant, the one lady we met, I did not like her. The one doctor, remember?
Well, that's anything. You got to vibe.
Interviewed. Yeah. I was like, do not like you. You are arrogant and you annoy me. And all she did was talk about like where she went to school. And I'm like, I don't care where you went to school. Can you deliver this baby safely? That's what I care about. And then I went to the person under her that was newer and she was amazing. And then I had the best birth ever.
Yeah. It's just, I don't know. I guess you got to shop around, but it's like it's just, I don't know. Again, I have a million questions. You watch CNN, they have a doctor on there saying one thing. You watch Fox News, they have a doctor on there saying completely opposite, Mm-hmm. And it's like, which one's real? Didn't you guys go to the same school?
Yeah.
You guys both went to medical school. Why is your opinion so different? You both went to medical school. Like, so it's, again, I think politics plays a big part in it. I think big business plays a big part in it. And now I'm left with no answers and I'm very confused. That's all.
I think certain doctors' personalities, like if you find one that's really cool, they're going to refer you to one of their friends and their friend's going to be cool. If you go to somebody who, when my dad had prostate cancer, our family doctor was more uptight and he referred my dad to his friend. And this guy was super uptight and super rude with my dad and like grabbed my dad's belly and was like, this is why you have prostate cancer. Yeah. My dad's like, F you, dude. And went to a different guy. And he's like, I'm not even going to go to this guy. I think a lot of them, you just got to find once you find the cool ones, they refer you to all the other ones. That's how I feel.
Well, I get personalities are different. They could go to the same school and different personalities, and you just have to find one that you vibe with. That doesn't mean that their medical opinion is completely different, which is, you know what I mean? Which is what you see on TV. One doctor saying one thing and one doctor saying another thing. It's one doctor you might meet might have a bad day and you'd be like, that's not the doctor I want. They might have the same medical opinion. You just don't vibe with them personally. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But when the textbook definition comes out of what that is, and they have two different opinions on how to cure it or what it is, that's when I have a problem. Do you see what I'm saying? I don't understand. You both went to medical school, but one could be on CNN pushing an agenda and one could be on Fox pushing an agenda, but you both went to the same medical school and you have completely different opinions of what is going on and how to cure it. So what's the right answer? Who do you trust?
I think the one that's prescribing less.
Good answer. All right, let's get out of here.
Doing less. I think if somebody's pushing you to be on a bunch of medicine, I would run. I think you got to find the root. And
what's going to be the repercussions for all these weight loss drugs that it seems like every person in America is on now?
They say they're good. I don't know.
Yeah, they say they're good. You think they're going to tell you? 90% of the country's on it. I just made that number up, by the way. But you think they're going to tell you if something's bad, if people are dying? Hell no. People are making billionaires off of this shit.
Yeah. I love when I see.
I sound like a total conspiracy theorist, but I don't give a shit.
I love when I see people and they're super skinny out of nowhere. And I was like, oh my God, you look great. What have you been doing? I've been working out. I'm like, yeah, right. You got skinny too fast. You're totally on Ozempic.
So what? I don't understand the shaming in that either.
Because I think it's just, I don't know.
I think it's a great kickstart to getting healthy. It's better than 5-10 years ago saying big is beautiful and keep doing what you're doing. That's not the answer.
Yeah.
So why not take something to help kickstart what you want to get done?
No, I'm all for whatever makes you happy. If it gets you going.
If you think big's happy and you're happy with it, I think it's all in your mind too. I think a lot of things and a lot of cancers and sicknesses and illness is in your head. You get so stressed out about shit that you could almost develop those things in your body. I don't know if that's true, but I believe that it is. If you're happy and you're happy with who you are and you're happy with your lifestyle and you're just a happy person, I say keep doing you. Keep doing that. Because I think stress and anger and I think all that tension affects your body.
I think when I get on the treadmill I've been going to the gym and every morning after I drop off the kids. And when I do, when I'm done, I feel so much better.
For sure. I say that all the time. Again, that's me personally. When I work out, I'm less stressed, even though I just work out. You know what it is? I got to do these 2 fucking stupid auditions and I'm kind of pissed about
Jeff's got to dance and twirl around.
And the Bears game's about to start. This is Sunday. I know you guys are getting this Monday. Jordan's sick, so that's why we filmed it late. But the Bears are about to start. I just want to sit down and watch the Bears game, but I got to dance like a monkey for
Tell them what
auditions.
all you have to do.
It's just so stupid, man. It's so stupid. I'll tell you guys next time after I do it. But we're already running late.
Well, good
and
luck.
you were a champ for coming down and doing this episode.
I'm about to lay back down. I have no energy right now. All right. See you later. Oh, read your card.
Wow, that got intense for no reason, huh? Sorry I dropped all that shit on you if you guys are still here. I probably alienated half of our audience. Let's end on a happy note. It's good to have money and the things money can buy, but it's good, too, to check out once in a while and make sure that you haven't lost the things money can't buy. You like that?
Yeah, I like it. All right, guys, have a wonderful day. We'll see you next time. Bye.